Illinois' Board of Elections doesn't cave in during a fight with the federal government, and Senator Joni Ernst will leave office at the end of next year. We'll get into these issues this morning with Scott County Democratic Party Chair Kay Pence and former Rock Island County Republican Party Chair Bill Bloom. Always great to see you both. We'll start with Iowa. Joni Ernst made it official this week. She will not seek a third term in the U.S. Senate. CBS News broke the story the week before Ernst made the announcement. Her polling numbers dipped recently, but she certainly would still have been a strong candidate as an incumbent. Now it will be an open seat. Now, I don't know how objective either of you can be to this question, but how much will Iowa be in play for the Democrats, Kay Pence?
Well, I think it'll be in play. You know, an open seat is rare and is generally competitive. And, you know, I wasn't really surprised to see Senator Ernst step down because she had originally pledged to do just 2 terms. But then after her disastrous "we're going to die" comment, you know, she'd hired a campaign manager, so then it was kind of up in the air. But she was facing primaries from the right, and we have a lot of good candidates from the lefts. You know, so it'll be interesting, but it's a long time till the primary, so we'll see who emerges from both parties.
Bill Bloom, it should be a competitive race regardless of who ends up being the candidate for either party, don't you think?
Well, I think had Senator Ernst decided to stay in the race, she would have handily won her primary victory, and I think she also would have won the general election. You know, her last election, she won fairly easily, and by the time November rolls around, I don't think we're going to have any major issues that would have stopped her from winning another one. You know, there's been a lot of talk about why Joni decided to step back, and as Kay knows, you know, running for office is a very exhausting, tiring business. I think being a U.S. senator has got to be more than a 24-hour-a-day job. I asked a friend of Senator Ernst if they could tell me anything about that, and she said basically that Joni she's got her kids are in the process of starting and raising their own families, expanding their families, and she's done her service to our country both through the military and the government, and now she wants to dedicate time. She wants to be there for her grandkids, and it's really hard to argue with that.
And certainly it's a taxing job, as you made the point, Bill, but just to follow up with you, Bill, quickly, this should be a pretty competitive race next year overall, don't you think?
It might be a little closer than the last one, but I fully expect that Joni will, or that, well, I think I'll predict this. Ashley Henson's going to be our candidate, and I think Ashley will, she's a very strong candidate. She won her last election by 22%. I think she'll win handily.
Well, we'll see what happens. A lot to watch next year, definitely. Illinois State Board of Elections did not meet the demand from the Department of Justice to turn over all of its voter registration data. The board provided some of it a few weeks ago, but the DOJ wanted every detail like birth dates, driver's license numbers, and at least partial Social Security numbers. Illinois said no on privacy grounds and maintains the DOJ is out of bounds legally. The Constitution gives the power of managing elections to the states. The DOJ claims it needs this information to ensure Illinois is complying with federal regulations to keep accurate voter rolls. How serious is this battle regarding voter data, Bill Bloom?
Well, I think it's dang serious. The federal government got involved because Judicial Watch went after the state of Illinois on this issue, and Judicial Watch basically looks for integrity, high moral standards, transparency in government. And so when Judicial Watch went after the state of Illinois, that caught the eye of the federal judiciary, or the DOJ.
Yes, the DOJ. We know what you meant.
The DOJ. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was kind of getting tangled in my own words.
All good.
So I think it's serious. I know I've had some dealings with the with election rolls in the state of Illinois. I ran into one situation where a relative was on the rolls for a couple of elections, and I told them that person didn't live in Illinois. They finally disappeared for an election, and then the next election, they were back on again. And I asked them about it, and they said, "Oh, that was an accident. We did something, and it must have put them back on the rolls again." So I'm all in favor of Judicial Watch and the Department of Justice, you know, getting in there and making sure that Illinois is maintaining accurate voter rolls and that they're cleaned up and current.
Kay Pence, how do you see this fight regarding the voter data?
Well, you know, I think that, you know, Illinois is not the only state that's fighting this. There's currently 5 lawsuits, and, you know, a South Carolina judge pointed out the state constitution guarantees the residents the right to privacy, and state law prohibits divulging certain personal information. He released the same information that they would use to release to the two parties. And as you pointed out, the federal government has no role in maintaining voter rolls. State and local governments run our elections. And Trump tried to, he had his Presidential Advisory Commission on Election Integrity the first time he ran. That went nowhere because of the privacy concerns. And, J.B. Pritzker accuses the Trump administration of seeking reason to claim voter fraud in 2026, which wouldn't surprise me at all. And, if the president was confident that his policies were popular, he would not be so obsessed with voter rolls and gerrymandering and eliminating absentee ballots and any type of voter suppression. So, we'll just see how this rolls out.